So welcome to episode 1 of the Straight Up Eagan Podcast. I'm sitting here with owner of Eagan Arms Public House, Tracie Munce, which is now our host site for the foreseeable future. So thanks for hosting.
For sure.
Right away, I usually like to get into kind of origin story of you, kind of how you grew up and how you got into the restaurant business. If you'd like to share, it'd be awesome.
Perfect. Well, first off, thank you very much. We're really excited to have you here and do this. We love Eagan. So I am Tracie. I'm co-owner of Eagan Arms Public House. I come from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. I grew up in the Midwest. I moved to Minneapolis 17 years ago, right around the time that I was a big hockey fan. I am a big hockey fan, and it was the Frozen Four. So, I moved here. It was St. Patrick's Day weekend, and I was like, I really want to live here. And 2 months later, I moved here, working for Reinhardt Food Service. When I started working for Reinhardt, I was a food rep, and I loved food. I loved that day to day, being in the kitchens, being that ambiance of everything. And I met the owner of Merlin's Rest Pub 16 years ago. It's on East Lake Street. I fell in love with the pub. I'd never been immersed in pub culture. I knew what a bar was, but I never understood really what a British pub was. And that's what Merlin's is. It celebrates the 4 Isles of England, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales. It's not a drunk bar. It's a place of gathering. And I really, being new to the community, not having a lot of friends, I found all of my friends in that pub.
So what's kind of a gathering spot for you then?
It was 100% a gathering. It was so welcoming, especially being a young female in the Twin Cities, and knowing that I could go to the bar and be hit on and all that.
Sure.
But at the pub, I felt like I was a part of a group. They welcomed me in such a different way. And come to find out, that's how we work out here as well. But in falling in love with Merlin's Rest, I fell in love with the owner, Lee Tomlin. And so we started this long distance relationship. He was on the road at that time with Lenny Kravitz. He worked in the music industry. So he would be on tour for long periods of time and come back to the pub. And I would see him, I think that first year, I probably saw him maybe a handful of times. So here was this, British man with beautiful accent, beautiful eyes, and the allure of being on the road with rock stars. Not as glamorous, I come to find out. It is a job. But so we fell in love, and about 2 years into Merlin's Rest being in business, there was people left. And because I had been in the food industry, and once you get to know me, I'm a doer, I'm a leader. And so he was still on the road at that time with, I think he was with Blue Man Group. And he asked me to come in and start managing his pub. And in doing that, several years into it, we became partners in the pub as well as in life. And then it was, I think it was 6 years ago. We moved out to Eagan. I wanted a bigger kitchen. He wanted an attached garage. We wanted to find Eagan in Minneapolis. Exactly. Yeah. We lived in Longfellow neighborhood right by the pub. So we moved out to Eagan. It felt like home to me. It feels like South Dakota. And we used to come to this location when it was the Mexican restaurant. Lee is British, obviously, as I said, so he loves football. So he would come down here to watch soccer, and I would come down here to drink Modelo Especial. So we used to dream about, oh my gosh, if this was our space, we would do this and this and this. And it was such a beautiful dream, and we do it every single time. And it was 4 years ago, 2019, we were doing some remodeling at our Minneapolis pub. And this place came available. And Lee and I jumped on it. It was a done deal. It was a done deal, right? The minute we heard that this place was open, we knew that it was ours. So yeah, we opened, it would have been 3 years ago in January of 2020.
Which that date sounds familiar.
Yeah, yeah.
Right before the lockdowns and COVID, everything happening. So starting a business right before then, it probably had some challenges.
It did. Yet, I am so much the glass half full, or that's how much the glass is supposed to be, right?
Yeah.
So, we learned the pivot dance really, really fast, and we learned how to pivot. It was our first St. Patrick's Day, and we had to close at 5 o'clock, and it was gutting. It was really, really hard. Letting all of that staff go. We were so incredibly blessed having a team of management though that was ready to kind of call of arms, so to speak. We would work, there was 6 of us, we'd work all day preparing food. Then we'd do takeout in the evening, and then the next morning we'd start all over. So we never took really a day off. It wasn't until the end of December that we took a week off. We just said, I'm closing
2022
of 2020, December of 2020.
Yeah.
Yep, we took December. That last week we took off.
Yeah.
But we had worked every single day.
Yeah,
It was so great though. I mean, the community of Eagan, we just fell in love with them even more. The way that they showed up for us, and it was absolutely beautiful, and has been ever since. We just feel incredibly blessed to be out here.
Yeah, I think one of the benefits probably for being new, you didn't have all these like systems built up where it's like we do this, this, and this, and then have to transfer the pivot from that to something new. You can kind of just seamlessly go into that. You guys did takeout and stuff?
We did. So it was super easy for us. We were so blessed that we had just changed our point of sale system, which made it super easy to do online orderings.
Okay.
And remember, we'd been in business for 14 years at that point.
Yeah.
So we already had systems in place. The thing that it really did for us is it really locked in the introduction to our food to this community, because it's a little bit different. Not everybody knows what a banger is, and not everybody knows what a plowman is. So we were able to soft open basically for a year. It was and then the thing that we do really, really well here is our food. Our food is outstanding. And I don't say that to blow smoke. It's tried and tested. Sure. These recipes have been in our family for at least the last 16 years, if not longer than that.
And those recipes are kind of closely tied to the history of England and those orals, like you said.
Yes, for sure. So there's a story behind pretty much everything on my menu. But the first time I went to England, which was 5-6 years into being a business owner with Lee, I was a little nervous. Like, does my food match up, so to speak? Yeah. I remember this one pub we went to, and I got like a steak and mushroom, right? And it came out exactly like we served ours. And I was like,
that's reassuring.
Do it exactly like us, or I do it like them. So, a lot of the early days was for me just burying my head in magazines and cookbooks and google.uk.co or .co.uk. Yeah. Like, I was constantly like researching and the products that we use Bisto gravy, so we get that imported in. If you're English, you would know immediately. We use HP sauce, which is House of Parliament. It's our brown sauce, so that's what comes with our Scotch eggs. We use Coleman's mustard, which is a spicy mustard from England. Bird's custard, which is the custard that you would get on our English toffee pudding. Those are things that we import in from England. Now, we could certainly make some of those things and be just like, but we don't. We make sure that we have some authenticity behind pretty much everything on our menu. There's really only one thing on my menu that we don't have a hand on, meaning it comes from a box or it comes from a bottle.
Yep. Okay. What would you say is the most popular fish?
Everybody would say that it's the fish and chips, and our fish and chips are outstanding. I will tell you that probably the most popular is our Cornish pasty. So we create our pasties from scratch, and we really do it the Cornish way, not the the Upper Peninsula way. So our Cornish pasties we sell handmade For our 2 pubs, over 1,000 a week. Yeah.
So for someone who doesn't know what that is,
Sure.
can you explain?
So a Cornish pasty is like a British hot pocket. It's an original hot pocket. So in the olden days, there was tin miners, and what they would do is their wives would, or their husbands, mostly their wives, would make these Cornish pasties. They look like a large empanada. So they have a pie crust, just a standard pie crust. And then inside we do a meat and potato one, and then we do a cheese, onion, and potato. So then we have one that's a half moon, and then one that looks like a dinosaur. So, and basically in the olden days, what the tin miners would do is they hold on to the braiding of the pasty, think empanada again, they hold on to the braiding, and then they throw the braiding to the pit ponies that were in the tunnels with them. So
There's a lot of history behind we don't know.
there's a ton of history, and especially around British history.
Sure.
So, why bangers are called bangers is they used to pop in the casings used to pop in the skillet, right? We have ploughmans, and a ploughman's is like a deconstructed salad, where the farmers used to go out into the field and they couldn't have big meals because obviously they had a whole day of farming. So they would have ploughmans, and it's just salad. It would have cheese, meat, onion, or usually like a pickled onion, some vegetables. So we do the same thing, and we have a beautiful rhubarb chutney that we do with ours. We make it in-house.
So you have a lot of great food.
Yeah.
And so when you think about pubs, at least when I think about pubs, think about Guinness, right? But you guys think about a lot of other drinks and specialties just when you kind of walk in. You see the bar and stuff, but what are your like specialty drinks or areas of specialty?
Well, first, let me start with a Guinness is properly poured here. It takes a moment. So when somebody comes in, they're going to get a properly poured Guinness, and properly poured Guinness can take 2 or so minutes to actually, because it cascades, and then there's a way of making sure that the head is absolutely perfect. So we train all of our bartenders on a proper pint. So we love that. We also have some Fuller's products, which is from Chiswick, England. So we have the ESB and the porter. It's super hard to find, or can be hard to find here in Minneapolis, Eagan area. But I think the thing that we sell the most of is our old fashioned. We make our bitters from scratch. We have a couple of different infused bourbons that we use. So we use Maker's 46 for our house old fashioned, but we sell a lot of old fashions here. And then also our cocktail list. We have like a cranberry margarita on right now. Every month we have special cocktails, and then we're Irish. So being Eagan Arms, Eagan is Irish. We specialize in Irish whiskey. So every Wednesday we have Whiskey Wednesday where you can come in. Lee will be here. He is a brilliant when it comes to single malt scotches and Irish whiskeys. You can get 25% off all of our Scotch, our Irish, and our bourbons.
So Wednesday or Saturday?
Wednesday.
What time?
All day. But Lee's usually here in the evening. So if you're looking for, I don't really know where to even start. Lee is here. Just ask for Lee or ask for the Irish or Whiskey Bible. And we have a list of everything with all of the tasting notes and everything. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Come here.
Yes.
Location wise, this is a great location, first of all, because it's not from my house.
Yes.
You guys are straight across the Eagan Diffley or Lexington Diffley athletic fields, which in the summer get pretty busy. So you guys get a lot of people coming in and stuff like that. So what other times in the year are you guys busy?
So the beautiful thing about a pub,
busier than normal.
Yes, and the beautiful thing about a pub is in the winter, it feels like a warm fireplace.
Sure.
Like when you're inside, it kind of feels like a snow globe. That's how it feels to me. And then in the summertime, we have this really awesome patio that is quiet. It's secluded by trees. So the patio is always a hopping place.
Was that there when you guys took over from?
It was.
Okay.
Yep, it was, although it was a little cold. I felt like it was cool.
Sure.
So, Lee takes time in making sure that the flowers are out there, you know, and things like that. So I don't know when, I would say that our slowest time is probably September, when everybody's going back to school, August, September, because, you know, we're all like going to the state fair and stuff like that. But the great thing about Eagan Arms that I absolutely love is that we have this room that we're sitting in right now. We call it the map room because when you look around, there's maps in here. And there's TVs, which we turn on. Right now we have art on it, but it has AV. So we have lots of events in this room where you can have, we've had weddings in this room, we've had celebration of lives, we've had birthday parties, those sporting teams that you were talking about. We have a amazing system that if you bring in your team and they all have their jerseys on, we can separate tickets super easy.
That's always the question.
It's always like, oh, like, how are you going to keep track of this? Our staff is trained to do that, but we love big parties and we also love the small parties. Just a couple weeks ago, we had a local business in doing a lunch and learn. So they came in, they had a small menu that we curated for them. And then they had people come in, they had, you know, come in for lunch, we'll pay for your lunch and I'll teach you about my business. So it's really great for like, wellness centers, places where they're trying to gather subscription clients.
If somebody wanted to kind of reserve it, they just call you or call the restaurant and talk to you.
They can also go to just eaganarms.com and right there's a place that you can ask, like, I want to talk more about securing a party, or that's where if you're looking for a job, you can go right on there and say, hey, I'm looking for a job. What do you have open? And we'll call you. So
our website's on the website.
Yeah, our website is beautiful. Seriously, I go to our website. I could be anywhere in the world and I'll pull up our website and you will get a true representation of the food and the drink and the culture of the pub.
Do you guys still do the takeout?
We do.
You do?
Yep.
You do that through the website as well?
You can do that through the website. Yep. Yeah. It's the easiest because then you can just put your payment right on there. You just come in. We have a hands-free place where you just come in, your food is sitting there and you take your food. You don't even have to talk to anybody if you don't want to. I know some people still have that. They like to have that no contact pickup. We do that. And we also have a couple of third-party delivery parties that we use. Sadly, we don't have a lot of authority over them, so we can't really say how long the food will take. But I can guarantee when it gets in their hands, it's hot and fresh and ready to go.
Sounds good. So what, a month away from St. Patrick's Day. What are you guys doing this year for that?
No, St. Patrick's, I've never heard of it. Just kidding. We love St. Patrick's Day. So it falls on a Friday this year. So we'll probably celebrate that Friday and Saturday. We're still working out details, but obviously we'll have Guinness and we'll still have a properly poured Guinness. So even if you are, I want a Guinness, know that it could take a minute. But we'll have music and I have bagpipers already scheduled, hoping to get a bagpipe band out here. And then our corned beef and cabbage. So we do corned beef, cabbage, and then with potatoes, red potatoes. So that is super popular. And the thing about our corned beef is whether it's St. Patrick's Day or a Tuesday in June, we braise it for 8 hours with that Fuller's Porter that I was talking about earlier. So we braise it in that Fuller's Porter and then we hand pull it. So.
Before we kind of sign off here, any fun facts about the restaurant, its history, or anything coming up?
Well, like I said, we are a single malt Scotch and Irish whiskey place. So every month we have single malt Scotch tastings or Irish whiskey tastings. We're a great place to bring family. On Mondays, we have video bingo, which is absolutely spectacular. DJ Bob does a great job. But if you want to come to a place where you're just singing along with the crew, this is a great place for it. We're always looking for people that can bring their hospitality profession. To us, we're more hospitality than we are service. We're not slingers. So you'll find that in a pub, we're all about the culture and the communication and the just the environment of that. We're not a drunk bar. It's a place where, you know, you can be 2-year-olds to 102-year-olds. So we welcome everyone here.
It's awesome. And all those tastings, that video bingo is on the website?
It's all on the website. It's all on the website. And you can also call. We take reservations as well. So you can go onto the website and do that. It's, you know, super easy. There's a place where you just push and they'll send you to the website to do reservations. It's always nice to get reservations in because on a Friday, Saturday, Thursday, we can get pretty busy here. So I want to make sure that everybody's taken care of.
Awesome. Well, there you have it. Episode number 1, Tracie with Eagan Arms Public House. Thank you.
Thank you.